In our first story, 4 chiefs are up for selection as the Yana of the Dagbon Kingdom. Now the chiefs of Sarvelugu Abdullahi Mahama, Tampin Lana Al Hassan Andani, Bolin Lana Abdullahi Mahama, and Kampaku Yana Abdullahi Yakubu Andani are the lucky 4, from among which one will emerge as the overlord of Dagbon. These are the 4 up for selection as the next Yana. The selection comes up after the funeral rites for the late Muhammadu Abdullahi Andani ended today. Justice Bedu has been in Yendi for us, and he joins us on the line. Justice, describe for us the scene now.
No. Let it be on.
Right, Justice, if you can hear me. What is happening now that the funeral rites are just about wrapped up and we are ready to select a new Yana?
So, Daniel, as I speak to you now, the Tolon Lana, who is one of the key people who is going to be part of the process leading up to the selection of the next Yana, I've just seen him and his entourage drive into the Yendi Township, which signals that we are almost at that point where that selection, very big announcement is going to be made as to who is going to be the next Yana. This selection is being vied for by 4 people, 4 key personalities, and these are people. 3 of them are coming from the Andani Gate, with one which is the Bolin Lana coming from the Abdu Gate. We have the Kampung Kiana, and then we have the Savlugu, Na, and then the Champion Lana, who is also part of the people who are gunning for this position. All 4 of them, I must say, are related to each other in one way or the other, and so it is a family affair. But this land, Daniel, the Dagbon land, which has seen so much rancor and acumen over the last 17 years, is now in transition in these hours, and in the next few hours to come, this place would have a new Yana, Daniel.
Historic moment, Justice, really. And we've been hearing from the people all week, but now that the moment is beckoning, what's the reaction?
People are excited. People have spoken words from either side of the divide, are excited, and all they are telling me is they don't really care who gets selected. In fact, of course, they are concerned that they have the right chief, but all they want is that someone is announced who would put all of them together, and this place could move on from their past.
Thanks, Justice Bedu. He is currently in Dagbon. Now, we stay with the story because after 17 years of a bloody conflict, as Justice said, a new Yana for the people of Dagbon could be selected today. This follows the performance of the funeral of Yana Yakubu Andani nearly 20 years after his killing in Yendi today. Joy News' Justice Bedu has spent the day covering the funeral for us. Here's his report.
A grand entrance of chiefs and their traditional warriors heralding what is a historic moment in Dagbon. It's been 17 years of wait for the funeral of a king whose gruesome killing shook the foundations of this land. In the period between 2002 and now, hundreds of lives lost in bloody conflict over who would succeed Yana Yakubu Andani II.
We thank God and we are very grateful.
Bushira Abdul Majid, like many of the young people here today, were very young when the Yana died and can't wait for the wave of opportunities that peace here would bring to them.
We know after all this is over, Dagbon will be Dagbon again. With the youth, development will go on and everything will move on smoothly. So we are very happy and we pray it continues. After all this funeral rites, a new Yana will be installed and peace and unity continues.
The people who have thronged this palace today for this funeral include top shots from the government and the main opposition party, the National Democratic Congress.
It's the clearest indication that the bank may fall, but the bank can rise again at any point in time. So as a son of Dagbon, I feel happy, I feel humbled that we have had this, occasion that indeed has been done successful. Even though Prior to this, we had some disturbances. But for me, the most important thing is that we put behind us those disturbances and forge ahead.
Now, with this important hurdle successfully crossed, the gates are open for a new Yana to be announced in the coming days. Dagbon and its people now stand on the verge of history. They could take the path to everlasting peace by burying their differences or hold on to the age-old wounds that have eaten up this beautiful land for years. In the meantime, though, it costs nothing to join the dance.
The people here in Yendi can afford to dance after this very, very historic funeral. After all, the peace they've been praying for decades may well be on the horizon now. I'm joining them. I'm joining them. Justice Baidu, Joy News, Yendi.
Quite the dancer there, Justice Baidu. Bet you didn't know that. Now, government's promise of constructing 570 dams in villages in 3 northern regions under the One Village, One Dam policy has kick-started in the Drapa municipality of the Upper West region. For a starting 10 communities in the municipality to benefit from the policy. Municipal Chief Executive for Drapa, Christine Bombanye Amadou, urged the youth from the northern belt of the country to take advantage of the policy to improve their economic conditions and also halt the migration of the youth to the south of the country in search of menial jobs. Christian Bombanye Amadou made the statement at a groundbreaking ceremony for work to start on 2 dams in the municipality. Joy News' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Zakpayiri.
The new Patriotic Party MPP in the 2016 electioneering campaign, led by then candidate Akufo-Addo, promised to build a dam in villages of the 3 regions in the northern belt of the country via a well-planned irrigation policy. The policy codenamed One Village, One Dam will make Ghanaian farmers harvest all year round. Government, in fulfilling its electoral promise, announced the construction of 570 dams, which will be executed in the northern belt of the country. For a start, all districts, municipals in the catchment area are to have 10 dams constructed in selected villages. It was therefore joy and excitement for residents at Zakpayiri and somewhere in the Jiriba municipality when they saw earth-moving equipment in the communities for a groundbreaking ceremony. The site has been handed over to Group 6 Company Limited and site curtain by the Municipal Chief Executive Christian Bombanya Amadou.
We are starting with 10. I believe that by mid-year we would have finished with the 10 so that the others will also follow up after July and the next year. The people within the northern sector, you realize that we have just one rainy season from, let's say, April to October. Then we have dry season. And many a time during the dry season, you see our youth running to down south to look for jobs. So this water, if it is there, the youth who will not be lazy can go into dry season farming. The youth who are not lazy can go into aquaculture. They can farm, they can do fish farming. And all these things will earn some income to the growing population.
They have 3 months to complete the project. Engineer Douglas Chum is the project manager.
This particular dam is different from the dam that we always see. So you see people complaining that it is too small, but it is not like that. For other dams, you have to scoop the surface and then form the embankment. But this one, to protect the land, in order to get a land for the farmers to farm on, we rather dig down so that the water can be contained in a very small area. Meanwhile, when we are to just scoop the surface and to form the embankment, we have spread in a very wider area. Yeah. So this is a very special design dam that is for the communities to enjoy.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam, Zakpayiri.
We stay in that part of the country because the Upper West Region Minister, Suleimana Al-Hassan, has revealed that the Nandong SHS headmaster, Reverend Joachim Na, who has been relieved of his post for allegedly admitting and charging illegal fees under the free SHS program, did not have the blessing of the Ghana Education Service. He said, even though the matter is still under investigation, initial reports indicated that he did it on his own volition and that GES only called to caution him about his illegal act. Alhaji Suleimana made the revelation at a press soiree organized for the media practitioners in the Upper West region. Joy News Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
Upper West Regional Minister Suleimana Al-Hassan did not mince words on the critical role the media play in the development of the country, especially the Upper West region. He noted that the media over the years has worked to unearth some of the hidden issues which has gone to shaping and impacted positively on the lives of the people. Several issues pop up during question time. Significant among them was the issue of Nandong Senior High School headmaster, Reverend Brother Joachim Na, and accountant Rudolph Changapare, who were relieved of their post for allegedly charging illegal fees under the free HHS program, an allegation that the DO has flatly denied.
The headmaster said he sought permission from somebody from the free senior high secretariat that he had earlier called somebody to ask for permission to recruit those number of students and to later on regularize their stay in school. But when they did their cross-checking, they couldn't get the one he claimed he had spoken to who gave him that mandate or authority to do that. That eventually what he produced was a telephone number which, according to him, he had communicated with the fellow. But when they called the number, it happened to be the caller from GES headquarters who was asked to call and caution him about whatever he was doing. So the fellow who called him only cautioning him that it has come to their notice that he was charging unauthorized fees, and therefore he should stop it or he will have to face the law.
Nandong Senior High School All Boys Association, NASOBA, led by its president, Sylvester Derry, are fuming with rage over the action of the GES, saying it was done in a rush and the punishment high-handed. They are also of the view that the principles of natural justice were not followed, as the Jew were not given a fair hearing, calling on the GES to do a thorough investigation on the issue. For the umpteenth time, the issue of rosewood was again on the front burner. On a daily basis, several tons of rosewoods are carted out of the region, thereby depleting the already fragile ecology of the area.
Forestry Commission continues to give reports to Accra. When they give reports that this quantity of rosewood is lying on the ground, then the Forestry Commission in Accra is compelled to issue license for them to come and salvage what is lying on the ground. Now, the community people also continue in their quest for some resources to continue to cut. And then Forestry Commission on the ground continues to give report to Accra that we have rosewood lying here at this quantity. And so once they report that, then licenses are issued for people to come and salvage the rosewood. So it is actually a problem that has got to do with the attitude of community members, landowners, and young people in the communities who continues to indulge in the cutting down of this rosewood. And the Forestry Commission also says that as long as they have rosewood lying on the ground, then they will have to let people salvage them. So I think that in addressing the issue, we need to engage the communities, we need to engage the chiefs, we need to engage landowners to let them understand the consequences of these actions.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Up ahead in the bulletin, we are remembering Komla Afeke Dumo, the African journalist who told the African story with passion. It's exactly 5 years today since he died. We bring you back some of his moments whilst here at Joy and at the BBC, doing what we all loved him for. In business, Ghana Airport Company boss John Atefa asked to vacate post. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, Member of Parliament for North Tong Samuel Okujeto-Ablakwa has called on government to include a clause in the Affirmative Action Bill that will require governments to reserve a fair number of appointments for women in order to ensure gender balance. He made this call at a book launch on gender analysis of political appointments in Ghana since independence. Here's a report by Philip Ankra.
The book is based on research aimed at investigating the gender dimensions of political appointments since independence. It was published by the Frederick Ebert Sifstan Foundation in collaboration with the Institute of Local Government. Speaking at the launch, Member of Parliament for North Tong, Samuel Okujeto-Ablakwa, called on politicians to emulate the gender inclusiveness of Ethiopia and Rwanda.
The challenge must be on. The Ethiopian model, the Rwandan model, we have to follow it, and we must push our presidents to do it. And at least we can start at the ambassadorial level. I think that the advocacy so far as the gender movement in Ghana is concerned, has been rather dull. We need to demand specifics. We must escalate the demand to the next level. I think it is time for a law that binds everybody. It is time. So that political parties must reserve a quota of their strongholds for women. Because clearly we are not, after all these decades, we are not making progress. We are rather declining.
President of the Women's Assistance and Business Association, WABA, Gloria Ofori-Buedu, however, thinks the affirmative bill is too broad. She suggests a separate bill be developed specifically for gender and equality related to women.
Depending on which one we want to work with, whether it's the A, B, C, or D, I think the affirmative action is too broad. Let's have a gender equality and development bill. Then we'll know what it's about, because we've had different forms of affirmative action in the country. And then it will be interesting to look at having an independent commission with a budget, independent of Ministry of Gender, because the gender ministry budget is always quite low. You know, it's also discriminated against. But I read that World Bank saying that lots of countries lose over $30 trillion income over a period due to their inability to develop and build the capacity of females to also play a role in the economy.
The book was launched by Janet Nabla, chairperson of the Coalition of National Women Organizers of Ghanaian Political Parties. For Joy News, Philip Anker's report.
Now, former chairman of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Kojo Afarijan, says the proposal to elect MMDCEs is good. He, however, cautions the process must not include Ghanaians living abroad. Speaking at the 70th Annual New Year School at the University of Ghana, Dr. Afarijan noted that involving Ghanaians abroad is impractical as it will make the process cumbersome, a situation the Electoral Commission may not be able to handle. He was speaking on the topic, improving the electoral process for democratic consolidation.
In terms of allowing our brothers and sisters who are resident abroad to vote in our general elections. And the general elections are what? The presidential parliamentary election and the district level elections. I'm saying that because of the sheer number of electoral areas, I don't even remember how many electoral areas, but what you are talking about electing 36,000, more than 36,000 members of the district assemblies. My God, I don't see how we're going to allow a person living abroad to be taking part in this one. It is completely impracticable for them to do. That's why I'm suggesting that we should leave that one aside. And then consider the others. And I have given my decision. So I'm not saying that we should stop district assembly elections. I'm saying that our brothers and sisters who are resident abroad, don't let us involve them in district level elections.
Dr. Kojo Afari-Jan there. Now let's go live to Maxwell Agbagba, who is at Medina, where the remains of slain investigative journalist Ahmed Hussein Swali are being returned to his home. Now, Maxwell Agbagba has joined us. Maxwell, what more can you report? Hello, Maxwell, if you can hear me, what more can you report?
Family members are gathering here at the Medina Mosque, where the final burial, ceremony will be performed. A lot of them are walking in from the family house. Behind me, it's the hearse that carried Ahmed Hussein Swali here to the Medina Mosque. Behind me, you can see prayers are ongoing. I'm told that the main event, would commence at exactly 1:30 after Juma prayers. But I have some friends here with me, some family members as well with me. I want to find out from them who exactly, Ahmed Swali was. So, what's your name?
Haruna Idrisu.
Haruna Idrisu. You said the deceased was your brother?
Yeah.
What kind of person was he?
I'm a brother, and I'm a Minuakitwa. Mintimi who nyinsi me ana me nyinsi no but mini na sorry from 1999 to 2000 2001 maintain basa bia so asama etu no ndene 3 days no mantimi nda because me nim say the etu no ensuro
okay
ensuro bia mo amoye santroni no ensuro mu
okay
ehe ne ye nyina de ekun ne nyina ye nyina akon
okay
obi a odi saa bone ne koto no ye de ye ntimi hu saa ni pakro no ben nyankopon ahu
okay
nyankopon na ebe yi ni pakro na amaye
okay so you just had a brother of the deceased telling me that the deceased has never been a violent person. He says what happened to him can happen to anyone, and then he's saying that God is the only one who is our protector. So if you come here today, we've seen quite a number of motorbikes, also here. What also is happening is that family members are trying as much as possible to stop, the family members from granting, interviews. You remember yesterday evening we had reports that there were some aggrieved youth who had wanted to storm the Kent City building owned by one of our legislators. They had to de-escalate that situation. So they are very careful today. A lot of them have been tight-lipped. They tell us that they are waiting for the burial to take place before they can comment. But if you see here, all these motorbikes, they accompanied the hearse to the funeral grounds. We left the family house just some minutes ago, which is just about 5 minutes drive to this place. The Criminal Investigations Department, they've returned to the crime scene to pick very vital information and evidence connected to this case. Remember, yesterday they were there, and today they are still on the ground trying to gather as much information as possible, Daniel.
That report, and we will be following up with activities at the Medina Mosque today, where the remains of Ahmed Hussein Swali have been taken for the official Muslim burial. Now, let's take you to another dead journalist, Komla Afeke Dumo, the African journalist who told the African story with passion. He is undoubtedly one of the best journalists the world, and for that matter, this country had. Former BBC and Joy FM presenter Komla Dumo wowed the audience with his sheer wit and passion. Today we here as Joy News remember our colleague who died from a heart attack exactly 5 years ago in his home in London. We bring you extracts of some of his shows on Joy FM and the BBC and elsewhere. In peace, boss player. Still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Now in business, Ghana Airports Company boss Jonah Tafer has been asked to vacate post. Daryl Kwao has the very latest when we come back.